Imagine that learning something will open a way eventually to teach and touch to thousands of people, stadiums full of people, learning just for your own. My story starts with my own interest in robots. Robots was the image of future when I was a kid. Robots was the cutting edge of technology. And I was dreaming of making my own robot. But even my imagination was restricted with only making a cardboard version of it, nothing more. Because making robots, it's for big science labs with budgets of millions of dollars. It's not for ordinary people like me. Years has passed. I went to university studying mechanical engineering. And at the senior grade, there was a surprise for me. Our professor wanted us to build a robot. Yes, I said. This will be the first opportunity for me to learn how to build a robot. And once I learn it, I can take it as a lifelong hobby. So our professor gave us a small electronic board and said, this is a microcontroller. This will be the brain of your robot. And I said, okay, now I will connect my sensors and my motors and run it, right? Not exactly, not that simple. You have to build additional electronic circuits to be able to connect them. And you have to pick the right components. But how? It was so difficult to build those circuits, and it requires a lot of soldering of tiny parts. And we got a lot of supports from our friends in electronics engineering, and finally made the robot. And then pushed the button, nothing worked. Our professor said, you made the wiring wrong. You burned the microcontroller, and it costs $100. $100? If every mistake of mine will cost $100, how can I learn it? Long story short, we made the project, passed the class successfully, no problem, but I thought, as a hobby, this will be too costly and tough for me, and postponed it to an unknown future. 18 years later, I am working in Bosch R&D department in Manisa, more than 10 years in the lab, and we have some summer intern students from electronics engineering. I give the guys some small tasks like, make me a circuit that will read from these sensors and run this pump and fan, and you have 2 weeks to complete it. And they replied, we can do it in 2 days by using Arduino. What is Arduino? I asked. And they said, it's a microcontroller. I know those microcontrollers, guys. Sorry, we cannot pay $100 for every mistake you will make. They looked at me and surprised. What $100? It costs $8. $8? At that moment, I realized how I was stuck with my mindset of 18 years ago. Technology became so easy to reach and less costly now. Even those circuits, you don't have to make them now. You can buy them ready to use. Everything is so accessible. And I learned all this from these young guys. So I thought, okay, now I can make my robot. But what about the knowledge? I bought all the parts, put them on my desk, but how will I convert it to a robot? I don't have my professor around me anymore. And then I noticed that it is not only the components, but also the knowledge become much more easy to access. Everything was on YouTube. Whatever feature I planned for my robot, someone else already made it, put it on YouTube in very nice videos explaining every detail. And we are no more learning from the professors. We are learning from the ordinary people. That was the revolution. Thanks to those videos, I made my robot, Jarvis, less than in a month, which is shorter than I expected. It's a small, simple robot, capable of finding its way when it is put in a maze. And I continued to add new features to it, and every time I took these short videos and put it on social media. It was well liked in social media. We were having fun. I even attended a best robot video competition on Twitter based on public vote, and we became first in the competition. That was a proud moment for me. And I noticed that as much as making a robot, I enjoy sharing it on social media with people. Meanwhile, something has changed. The cutting edge of technology is no more robots, but it is the AI now. So I was very interested in AI also and tried to learn whatever I can find about it. The more I learned, I wanted to share it with people. But how? Luckily, those days in Manisa plant, a new speech platform is organized. Employees were invited to share their passions. And I used this opportunity to make my first public speech about AI. What about Jarvis? I used my robot Jarvis as an example to show how it is easy in today's world to reach and use technology as ordinary people. And the university students were also listening to this presentation, and they invited me to their universities. And I wanted to use this opportunity to share my knowledge with these young guys who inspired me in making my robot Jarvis. These invitations followed one after another, and it took 2 more years with many universities, and I reached more and more people every time. And then we had the pandemic, and all face-to-face activities suddenly stopped. So I was already thinking, how can I reach a wider audience? And pandemic inspired me. Why not I put everything on YouTube? Okay, but I know nothing about making a YouTube channel. How to make a video, how to edit a video, how to make attractive videos. When you start with 0 followers, how you can reach people or how people will notice you? As you can guess, that information was also on YouTube. I learned how to be a YouTuber from YouTube and made my channel. It's a popular science channel with variety of contents. I got few thousand views, which was okay. Then those days, ChatGPT is introduced. And I was very interested in it and wanted to make a content, especially about its less-known features, which were the plugins that time. I made my research from various resources, combined all knowledge in one video, and published it. At first, it got few thousand views again in the first week, which I used to. In the second week, it suddenly started to get 10,000 views every day. Every day, 10,000 people are watching my video. And in the office, people are stopping me and saying, hey, when we write ChatGPT on the search box of YouTube, your video started to appear on the top. That was amazing for me. And in the end of 1 year, that video reached 280,000 people. I couldn't imagine even how 280,000 people look like. I could only think of the biggest football stadiums. So the knowledge I am delivering is now reaching to 3 stadiums full of people. But what is more important than the number of viewers were the hundreds of comments that came. In those comments, people are mentioning how they are using the knowledge I delivered to them in their work, in their daily life, and they are even sharing it with others now. So the cycle continues even beyond me now. And I continued to make similar contents in AI education, and eventually my channel became a well-known channel in AI education. People who are watching my videos again started to invite me to universities, and not only universities, but also NGOs, Chamber of Engineers, and many other different platforms. So, and I love to attend again on these face-to-face organizations to share my knowledge. And at Bosch, I became Mr. AI. I organized some online trainings, and my colleagues also motivated to integrate more and more AI to their daily work. We are even now reviewing all our processes to find all the potentials that we can integrate AI more. What about Jarvis? He is not only the logo and the mascot of my channel, but also my partner in presenting the stuff. I talk, it moves, and we present together. This is how my learn, create, educate journey started from learning from students to delivering knowledge in university classrooms and to thousands on YouTube. And my lovely buddy, we start walking this way together. We walk together, and hopefully, we will continue together. Thank you.